Stress tracking has quietly become one of the most important features in modern health wearables, not because a gadget can magically remove stress, but because the right device can reveal patterns in your physiology you simply cannot feel in the moment. Over the past decade, companies like Oura, Whoop, Garmin, Google, Apple, and newer entrants like Hume Health have built completely different systems to measure it. Some focus on real-time signals from your nervous system. Others combine sleep, activity, and recovery into broader stress scores. And the differences matter more than most people realize. Because depending on which device you use, the insights you get about your body can look completely different. In a moment, you will see why one device consistently produces the most useful stress data for long-term health tracking. But first, you need to understand something important. Wearables do not actually measure stress directly. What they measure is how your nervous system responds to the world around you. At the center of nearly every stress tracking system is something called heart rate variability, or HRV. Unlike heart rate, which simply counts beats per minute, HRV measures the tiny fluctuations between heartbeats. Those millisecond differences are controlled by your autonomic nervous system, the same system responsible for your stress response. When your body is calm and well recovered, those intervals between beats vary more. Higher variability is generally associated with stronger recovery and resilience. But when your body is under pressure, mentally or physically, those intervals become more rigid. Your HRV drops. And that drop becomes one of the strongest signals that something in your life is pushing your system harder than it should. But HRV alone does not explain everything. This is where different wearable companies start to take very different approaches. Take Oura, for example. The Oura Ring tracks stress using 3 connected systems: daytime stress, resilience, and something called cumulative stress. Daytime stress works minute by minute throughout your day. It combines HRV, body temperature, and movement data to map when your body enters stress or recovery states. Once the algorithm learns your baseline, the patterns often line up surprisingly well with how you actually felt that day. But the real advantage appears when you zoom out. Resilience analyzes how well your overnight recovery balances the stress you accumulate during the day. If sleep quality drops or mental strain rises, your resilience score slowly begins to fall. And that long-term view leads to one of the most revealing features in wearable stress tracking: cumulative stress. Instead of looking at a single day, it analyzes the previous 31 days of physiological strain, which often reveals something most people never notice until it is already affecting their health: chronic stress. But Oura is not the only company trying to solve this problem. Whoop approaches stress from a slightly different angle. Its system revolves around a real-time stress monitor score that ranges from 0 to 3. The score updates continuously throughout the day using heart rate and HRV compared against your 2-week baseline. Low scores indicate recovery. Higher scores indicate physiological strain. But Whoop does something interesting with workouts. It removes exercise sessions from the stress calculation. The idea is to separate emotional stress from physical training strain, though in reality your body often stays stressed after exercise anyway. Where Whoop becomes more powerful is the journal feature. It allows you to log behaviors like caffeine intake, late meals, alcohol, meditation, or cold exposure. Over time, the system starts linking those behaviors to changes in your recovery and stress levels. This is where wearables begin to shift from tracking data to revealing patterns. Compare that with the approach taken by Google and Fitbit. Instead of relying only on heart signals, some Fitbit devices use something called Electrodermal activity, or EDA. The sensor detects tiny electrical changes on your skin caused by sweat gland activity, which often increases during emotional stress. When the sensor detects a spike, it prompts you to log what you were feeling in that moment. The idea is to connect physiological reactions with real-world triggers. But there is one problem with this approach. It requires active input from the user. Most people are not going to stop during a stressful moment to tag what just happened. Garmin takes yet another approach. Its watches translate HRV data into a simple daily stress score between 0 and 100. Low, medium, or high stress zones. But the real value inside the Garmin ecosystem is something called body battery. A combined measure of sleep, stress, and activity that estimates how much energy your body has left. Instead of telling you that you are stressed, it answers a more practical question. How much capacity does your body actually have right now? Another newer option entering the stress tracking space is the Hume Health Band. Instead of focusing only on HRV, Hume emphasizes broader metabolic and body composition signals. It combines recovery data, body metrics, and continuous monitoring to create a more holistic picture of physical strain. The idea is that stress rarely shows up in just one signal. It shows up across sleep, recovery, body composition, and metabolic health. While the ecosystem is still developing, this type of multi-signal monitoring may represent where stress tracking is heading next. And then there is Apple. Interestingly, the Apple Watch does not include a native stress score at all. Instead, it focuses on mindfulness tools. The Breathe feature guides short breathing sessions. State of Mind lets you log emotional states throughout the day. And Reflect provides short gratitude prompts. Apple collects HRV data in the background, but most of the interpretation happens through third-party apps. So which system should you actually choose? If stress and recovery insights are your top priority, Oura is still the most complete system. Its combination of daytime monitoring, resilience tracking, and long-term cumulative stress analysis gives you the clearest picture of how your nervous system is adapting over time. Whoop is a strong choice if your primary focus is performance and training recovery. The strain system and behavior journal make it particularly useful for athletes who want to understand how lifestyle habits affect recovery. Garmin works best for people who already use its ecosystem for fitness training. The stress metrics are simple, but the body battery and recovery features integrate well with training load and workout planning. Fitbit and Google devices are a solid middle ground for everyday wellness tracking. They provide stress signals and body response alerts without requiring a fully dedicated recovery platform. Apple Watch makes sense if you are already deep in the Apple ecosystem and want flexible third-party apps alongside mindfulness tools. And Hume Health is worth watching if you are interested in emerging systems that combine metabolic health and stress tracking into one platform. But the most important takeaway is this: stress tracking works best when you look at patterns over time, not individual scores. The real value appears when your device quietly notices trends you would otherwise miss. When poor sleep slowly erodes your resilience. When intense training loads push recovery too far. Or when everyday habits keep your nervous system stuck in a constant state of strain. If you want deeper breakdowns of the most accurate health wearables and how to build a smarter personal health tracking system, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, keep it smart, keep it simple, and keep it healthy.